A lot of people, when they see this artwork, want to eat it. Some want to slap it. And many are just obsessed with it. So, what's so special about this jelly? Space Waves is a 3D artwork by Berlin-based artist Christoph Gromer. The artist uses a 3D modeling software and a rendering program to create his work. We see a basic rectangular prism or a cuboid moving in waves and creating light reflections. Almost every color in the spectrum is dancing here, giving so much dynamism and visual energy to the artwork. It's situated in a black, empty space, so the shape takes center stage and benefits from the contrast between light and dark. The surface looks translucent and smooth, but also has rich texture and tiny scratch marks like crystal or glass would. But it doesn't seem rigid like glass, it seems soft, like jelly. And the animation is a perfect loop, so if we were to play this video over and over again, the transition would be seamless. See? No, right? Exactly. So why does Space Waves appeal to so many of us? Well, geometry is a universal visual language that speaks to all of us, and the history of art is full of repeated patterns, grids, and minimalist shapes as a shared motif from early tribal art to both Eastern and Western modern art traditions. Not only does our brain seek geometry and visuals to find order, harmony, and proportion, but different shapes evoke different emotions, thoughts, and perceptions in our brains. Graphic designers call this the psychology of shapes and use them to support their brand's message. Squares and rectangles are among the most common geometric shapes. They are formed by straight lines and right angles that give us a sense of familiarity, comfort, security, and peace. These attributes make us feel safe and contained. Much like apartments and buildings, we expect squares and rectangles to hold their ground, have a weight, be reliable and secure and immovable. On the other hand, our eyes and brain perceive soft or curvy items as being similar to living organisms, which makes us perceive them as friendly or as food, something appealing. Space Waves draws from both of these concepts. It's the best of both worlds. It's a more appealing interpretation of an otherwise ordinary basic shape. It's the effortless moment and the visual energy. It's the simplicity. It's so familiar, yet it's like nothing we've seen before. There's no talking about this artwork without mentioning minimalism. Minimalism is a type of abstract art that depicts simple shapes. The movement began in the 1960s in the United States and challenged the notion of art having a meaning beyond what we see. Minimalist pioneers believed that art should have its own reality and not have to be an imitation of a landscape, a person, an object, or even an emotion. Minimalist art doesn't attempt to represent something. The artist asks the viewer to respond only to what's in front of them. This also debunks the myth that art can only be enjoyed by the elite, because minimalist art doesn't hold back a meaning, but gains one through our interaction with it. As a minimalist artwork, Space Waves doesn't contemplate a deeper meaning or express a feeling. It is what it is. So whether it's something you'd want to eat or slap, the artwork is whatever you, the viewer, interpret it to be. It's an appreciation of a highly purified form of beauty found in the simplest of shapes. Christoph Gromer knows the appeal of minimalism and harnesses the powerful impact of the simplicity in his art. From basic shapes to everyday words, the artist creates minimalist 3D artworks that appeal to so many of us. Some of his works are available as single edition NFTs, including Space Waves, so see the description below for the link if you're interested in owning this magical space jelly. Christoph Gromer is a 3D artist and designer based in Berlin. He has worked as a graphic designer and user experience designer at multiple companies since graduating from the Technical University of Berlin and is currently working as a product designer. He started creating 3D art just 3 years ago during the pandemic because he felt the need for a creative outlet alongside his regular job. Christoph Gromer is not a full-time artist, but has always tried to have some kind of creative output, whether that's photography or graphic design. He says he found a lot of joy in 3D art, as he especially enjoys the process of learning new skills within this field. He learned how to create 3D art mainly on YouTube and got better and better by staying consistent and sharing his work with the people around him. Since then, he has been commissioned by musicians for cover art as well as for concert visuals. The artist showcased his art at an exhibition for the first time ever just a few months ago at Berlin Art Week. Exploring the intersection of reality and abstraction, Christoph Gromer's glass sculptures are mesmerizing over 100,000 followers on Instagram, us included.